Now more than ever, we understand the importance of teaching math conceptually and creatively alongside procedural or algorithmic thinking to prepare students to be successful, creative problem solvers in the 21st century. With the rise of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and automation, students understand the importance of uniquely human capacities for innovation, creativity, and novel thinking to define and solve problems in new ways. Research shows that when students develop their mathematical reasoning through creativity, they find new ways of reasoning and of solving problems. And when given these opportunities, multiple parts of their brains are put to work. This is why it's so important to cultivate creative mathematical thinking to help all students reach their full potential and set them up for success in the future. The activities educators have made with Adobe that extend Khan Academy math lessons use authentic, real-world contexts to allow students to demonstrate their thinking in various ways. They ask students to do things like create mental and visual maps of their surroundings with parallel lines and angles, identify the location of famous landmarks to explain transversals, visually communicate mathematical thinking to better understand word problems, analyze the relationship between shapes by observing the world around them, and design a mosaic using the concepts of congruence and transformation. Let's hear from educators like you who have used creative activities in their math classes.
Khan Academy is one of the most widely used and trusted resources for learning math all around the world. So I'm really excited about those millions of math teachers and students extending their learning and those kinds of digital and creative activities that Adobe can really help with. Whether that's visualizing math concepts in different ways or presenting statistical research findings in an online presentation. Adobe tools allow students to really interact with math in an engaging way that can help solidify their understanding.
I think Khan Academy and Adobe are a great fit for teaching math, partially because I think using those two tools together takes math from being just about developing skills and really to finding ways to empower students to demonstrate and visualize their understanding of these really complex concepts and networks of concepts.
Rather than internalizing this notion that anyone is just inherently good or bad at math, students have the opportunity to develop a growth mindset and articulate their needs and reflect on this process that they've used to arrive at any solution. So what is so wonderful about Khan and Create is it's giving students this foundational information that they need to access and practice problems at a foundational level. And it's asking them to think critically about the process that they use and how they present that information to teach it and explain it to somebody else.
I was one of those students that struggled with math because I always wanted to talk about it. I was that student that loved word problems, but then was always asking the question, but why does this formula work? And really wanted to understand the concepts and the conceptual nature of what we were doing besides the formulas and the more procedural pieces. And with that exciting push to make sure that students are not just doing procedural math, but also are engaging with it conceptually, there's an opportunity then to find appropriate tools to allow students to express their mathematical thinking. That's what I love about the combination of Khan Academy's math videos and practice questions with Adobe's creative and communication tools, because it gives students the opportunity to understand the fundamentals, practice and think about the conceptual pieces, and then use Adobe tools to express, to visualize, to show conceptually different ways of solving problems, and to practice their communication skills to explain to others not just how they got the right answer, but the different thinking processes and approaches that they tried to get there. That's what makes math truly creative, innovative, and exciting.
Khan allows me to differentiate based on my students' needs. Some students may need a more basic math concept understanding, while others are ready to dive into more complex math concepts. When I use Adobe, students have the creativity and the ability to create something that shows their understanding on a deeper level. It's not just pen to paper solving equations. It's show me how you understand this concept through an Adobe Spark post by using pictures and words. And you really get to see students' understanding of math concepts in a really exciting way.
One of the lesson plans that really resonated with them was creating a recipe, your favorite recipe, but then doubling it or even quadrupling it, but that required the knowledge of fractions and multiplying by fractions. So that was really exciting for our math teachers. Best part of that and the way that they are created is teachers can feel confident after reading through them to just send it out and as a link, and they loved the way that it was so inclusive.